Unit 8, Lessons in Life. Lesson A, why did I do that? Vocabulary, prefixes, miss, this, and re. Okay, so here we're going to learn the use of miss, this, and re at the beginning of a word or a verb. And we're going to learn the meaning of each prefix, which is on the right side. You're going to see them in an example. I misspelled your name. Can you correct it? Miss means do something wrong. So I misspelled your name. Can you correct it? Number 2, please disregard my email. It wasn't important. This means don't do something. So please disregard my email. It wasn't important. Number 3, let's reconsider. There might be a better way. Re means do something again. Let's reconsider. There might be a better way. Okay, so the vocabulary words are agree, consider, continue, do, judge, like, make, pronounce, regard, spell, think, and understand. Okay, and we're going to use the prefixes. Here we're going to use them. So remember, miss means do something wrong. So we're going to do the verb, but we're going to do it wrong. So it's misjudge, misspell, mispronounce, and misunderstand. Here we have this. This means don't do something. So we have the verb, but we're not going to do it. So it's disagree, dislike, discontinue, and disregard. Here we have the prefix re, and re means do something again. So we have the verb, and we're going to do it again, or redo it, and it's reconsider, remake, redo, and rethink. And that's how we use the prefixes miss, this, and re in front of a verb. Grammar, past perfect. Use the past perfect to describe an action that took place before another action in the past. So here we have two actions, and we're going to use the past perfect to declare it as something that happened before the first action. Remember, in past perfect, we use the word had, and we can use contractions like I'd, which mean I plus had. Here we have an example. I sent the email to Leo before I realized my mistake. The words yet and already are often used with the past perfect. Here we see an example. I asked him to disregard the message. Luckily, he hadn't read it yet. Here we have a contraction hadn't to declare that it's a negative action plus the word had to declare that it's past perfect. Second example, by the time I started to say something, my boss had already left. So we use the words had to declare it in past perfect. Okay. Here we have amusing activity. We have past perfect and simple past. Remember, the past perfect uses the word had, and we're going to use the words in the parentheses. So it's number one, I had planned on working all weekend. So we changed the word plan to planned with ed. To declare that it's in the past. We add the word had to declare it as past perfect. The second part, we have reconsidered. We add the ed at the end to declare it as simple past. So it's I had planned on working all weekend, but then I reconsidered and went to the beach instead. Number two, I was so late this morning, by the time I got to work, I had missed the whole meeting. So get is an irregular verb, so we change it to got by changing e to o. Remember, this is simple past. In the end, or the second part, we have the past perfect by adding the word had in front of the verb and changing the verb miss to ed to declare it as the past. So it's past perfect. Number three, Alice woke up at 9:30 because she had forgotten to set her alarm clock for 8. Okay, so the first part is in simple past, and we change the irregular word from wake to woke by changing the A to O. The second part, we change forget to forgotten by adding an extra T and EN at the end, which changes it into its past form. We add the word had to declare it as past perfect. So it's Alice woke up at 9:30 because she had forgotten to set her alarm clock for 8. Number 4. Before Richard and Alex met, they had been e-pals for a year. So we changed the word meet to met, which is an irregular verb. And it's in simple past. We changed the verb be to been to declare it in its past form, and we add the word had to make it past perfect. So it's before Richard and Alex met, they had been e-pals for a year. Number 5, I called my friend to cancel our plans. Luckily, he hadn't left yet. So we add the ed at the end of the verb, call, to make it into called. Change it into its simple past form. We add had to leave, and we change the word leave to left because it's irregular. We have the word not, so it's going to be negative, and we use it as a contraction with the word had. So it's a past perfect. Hadn't left. So it's I called my friend to cancel our plans. Luckily, he hadn't left yet. Lesson C. What if? Vocabulary. Expressions with make and get. Okay. So all of these vocabularies or expressions are going to start or are going to use the word make and get in front of them. Okay, and they're expressions, and we have the meaning of those expressions on the right side. So number 1 is I hate to make a fool of myself. It's I dislike it when people laugh at my mistakes. I hate to make a fool of myself. Number 2, I always make an effort to do my best in school. I try very hard. Make an effort. Number 3, I often make mistakes. Is D. I am careless. I often make mistakes. Number 4, I never make a big deal about my birthday. It's A. I sometimes don't even tell anyone. Make a big deal. Number 5, I make up my mind easily. Is E. It's not difficult for me to decide things. Make up my mind easily. Number 6, I never get into trouble. Is G. I always try to follow the rules. I never get into trouble. 7, if someone isn't nice to me, I try to get over it quickly. It's F. I just disregard it. Get over it. Number 8, I always try to get out of doing the dishes. Is I. It's my least favorite chore. I always try to get out of doing the dishes. Number 9, my friends sometimes get on my nerves. Is H. I get annoyed when they play loud music. So it's get annoyed is get on my nerves. Number 10, I like to get rid of things I don't need. Is J. I don't like to keep unnecessary things. I like to get rid of things I don't need. Grammar. Third conditional. Third conditional sentences describe hypothetical situations in the past. Use the past perfect in the if clause and would have plus past participle in the main clause. Okay, so we use the if clause right here at the beginning, if, to create a hypothetical situation. We use the past perfect, so the past perfect is this, and it's going to have the word had plus the adjective in its past form. In the second part, we have the conditional. Using the word would to declare it as third conditional. Okay. And we can use would or the word had. Number 1. All of these sentences are in their third conditional form. And the answer is the message or the meaning of the condition. So number 1 is, if Henry had made an effort, he would have passed all of exams, which means Henry didn't make an effort. Number 2, third conditional, if Mike had followed the instructions, he wouldn't have made a mistake, which means Mike made a mistake. Okay. If you notice, all of these starts with the word if, which makes it the hypothetical situation. Had plus the adjective, which makes it the past perfect. And would have to follow the past participle in the main clause. So 3 is, if Luz hadn't become a doctor, she would have become an artist, which means Luz became a doctor. Number 4, if Andrea hadn't sold her old books online, she wouldn't have gotten rid of them, which means Andrea got rid of her books. Part B, these are all third conditional sentences, and we're going to use the words in parentheses. So it's number 1, if I had known about the party, I wouldn't have made such a fool of myself. So all of these are in condition if. We add the word had to make it in past perfect. We change know to known. Since it's irregular, all we do is add the letter N. So it's, if I had known about the party, I wouldn't have made such a fool of myself. We add the word would and have. Since it's negative, we have not. We change it to a contraction. Wouldn't have made. Since it's irregular, we change the K to D. Made. So it's past perfect. And the third conditional. Number 2, if you had come home before midnight, you wouldn't have gotten into trouble. So we add the word had. We keep the word come in the same form. We add the word would. Since it's negative, we have not used in a contraction with would, so it's wouldn't have gotten. Into trouble. Number 3, if I hadn't got rid of my old cell phone, I wouldn't have let you have it. So again, we add the word had in the first part. We change get to got by changing the E into O. It's negative, so we add it to had, making contraction. It says hadn't got rid of my old cell phone. I would have let you have it. Okay. Here we have the past perfect and the end in the second part, and we have the would at the beginning, or the third condition at the beginning. So it's I would have made up my mind easily if I hadn't had so many choices. So we have the condition if and the second part. We change make to made by changing the K into D. We add the word have as an auxiliary. We add the word would. In the second part, we have the word had to make it into past perfect. We have not, which means it's negative. So we combine it with had and make a contraction that says hadn't. The verb is have, so we change it in its past form to had by eliminating VE and adding the D. So it's I would have made up my mind easily if I hadn't had so many choices.